Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong together.
Hello everybody. I'm hoping this is going to work. I keep getting a low network coverage. It's Technology Tuesday. So welcome to my live with Libby. I'm Libby Dyson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. And I'm so pleased that you could spend some time with me today. We're going to do a bit of a fun fold today. And guess what else? It's New Catalogue Day. So yes, the new catalogue's gone live. How great is that? I've already put in a customer order, and of course I've already put in an order of things I just had to have. Now, just a couple of things about the new catalogue that, I got caught out with. The old dynamic textured embossing folders are not orderable at the moment. They will be orderable shortly with the new embossing plate to go with the Stampin' Cut and embossing machine that we don't have yet, but I'm thinking it will be compatible with the Big Shot. We no longer have a trimmer. Blades will be available, they've told us, until September, so maybe in September we'll have a new trimmer. I don't know, but in the meantime I've ordered a Fiskars one. I've got a small Tim Holtz one, but I need a big 12 by 12 one that's reliable. So I'm hoping this will be reliable. The new ones definitely are available, so everything else seems to be fine with the catalogue, and yeah, it's gone live. So do you know what? I'm not going to rabbit on anymore. I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll have a bit of a look at the catalogue, and then we'll get stamping. So here's the new catalogue, and it's got some gorgeous samples on the front, and today we're going to be using the floral essence. So just a couple of things about the new catalogue. It's got its normal table of contents. Now if you look for this little red starburst thing with an N in the middle, that means it's new. And the little I'm calling it Pretty Peacock sort of circle with the 10% off, that indicates a bundle. And then of course you've got your social media icons down here as well. And in the front you've got all our beautiful colours, and the 2019-2021 in colours are beautiful. However, they're not available as a bundle yet because Purple Posy's been pulled from distribution until they sort out some issues with it. So these are available as individuals, but seriously, I'd wait until they're available as a bundle, because then you get 10% off. And don't forget to order the re-inkers as well. Alright, so then we go over to our bundle index, which is in the front. So all our bundles are in the front. And I've ordered a few of those. Don't you love this truck? Just got to have that truck. I've got grandchildren. So yes, so they're all our beautiful bundles, and there's quite a number of them. And then you go into the suites, so woven threads and so on through the catalogue. Magnolia Lane, there's a whole lot of different ones. Noble Peacock, that looks lovely, except I don't like peacocks. We had some where I used to live and they're not nice. As I said, the truck is a bundle, Ride With Me bundle. So it's $90.75. And if you bought them separately, it'd be $37 and $197. Just got to the back here. 37 and 64 is 97, 103. So normally if you bought the Ride With Me and the truck ride dies, it would cost you $103 if you bought them separately, but buy them as a bundle and you get them for $90.75. How great's that? So lots to see in the catalogue, just beautiful things, embellishments. Now these cork embellishments I've used before. Now just because they're black on one side doesn't mean to say you have to use that side. I flipped it over and stamped in Versamark and heat set it with white embossing powder. You could use any, probably not copper, wouldn't show up, but you could use black embossing powder on it and a few other colours. So give that a try. Flip them over if that's not what you want to see. Now, Perennial Essence Floral Centres didn't impress me to start with, but they look wonderful with the flowers, little yellow fuzzy things they are. You can have that, it's a technical term. Our trinkets are beautiful. I've nearly used up my sail away trinkets, but anyway. Then we've got our colouring tools, so we look at all our blends, our watercolour pencils, the new pigment sprinkles which I've ordered. They come in Bermuda Bay, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Gorgeous Grape, Mango Melody and Melon Mambo. So they'll look good. Just wish they had a blue in there, but anyway. Watercolour pencils, and the assortment 2's back, so if you didn't get them the first time round, get them this time. Then we've got our colouring tools and new embossing powders, Shimmer Black and Shimmer White. I've yet to order those. Stampin' accessories. Now if you haven't got clear blocks, order them as a bundle and you get them for $120. So that's a really good savings, and you can order the case as well if you want to. Okay, so adhesives, Stamparatus with the bag and all the tools that you need for it, punches, Simply Scored. Take your pick putty refill and you take your pick die brush along with your take your pick tool. So there's no more paper piercing tool, which was one of my favourites. Alright, then you go over to the cut and emboss and you've got all your dies and embossing folders. Now the ones that don't have the new N next to them, you can't order at the moment. So I think it's just the basket weave and the lace 3D. You can't order at the moment. Oh, Pinewood Planks, Subtle, Tin Tile, Tufted, Seasonal Wreath. You can't order them at the moment, but they will, and the corrugated, but they will be available shortly. Alright, then you go over to the kits, some beautiful kits, and kits make great gifts. Don't forget you can split them up, make a pretty box. So this one, the Notes of Kindness, there's 20 cards in that, you could split that up into a box of 10 and do it as a gift. Or if you're a demonstrator, you could do it as a class. And if you had 5 people, they could make 4 cards each. Now the kit costs $61. So as a demonstrator, if you charged for 5 people, you could charge $15 and they could take 4 cards home. And that may encourage them to buy the kit. You could do the same with the Lots of Happy card kit, which has been around for a little while. It's a beautiful kit. They're all lovely kits. And they come in nice boxes that you can reuse. All right. And then, of course, you've got the host. So host a workshop, and you could purchase the soft spring stamp set. Beautiful stamp set, and it's only $16.50 when you get to your $250 party. All right, so then there's the index, all about the storage, and yeah, that's it. So that's our brief catalogue tour. So today we're going to, before I move on, we're going to, and I'll just check the comments. Hello, Wendy Allen, thanks for sharing. Thanks, Gail. Glad that you could make it today. It's a bit windy and cold here and wet. All right, so today on my blog, I've got how to make this with the stitched nested labels dies, which we're going to use today too. So this is triple time stamping, but it's not really, it's quadruple time stamping. So I've used the label dies to make these 2 cards, and stamped on the inside, of course, and the envelope. And this one's got the anchor. So basic grey and Night of Navy. And I've used the trinkets. The anchor's quite easy to tie on because it's got like a little eyelet hole there. The wheel you need to add with a glue dot. So we're not making those today. I just thought I'd show them to you. Now today we're going to make this card, which I shared on my blog on Sunday for the ESAD blog hop. And if you haven't hopped around, hop around on that blog hop and have a look at all the new products to inspire you to make things. So this is a fancy fold and a double point. It's not my design. It's Jackie Butcher from Canada, I think her name is. Anyway, her name's on my blog and you can have a search for that. And you open up the front like that, close it up again, and then you've got your inside of your card. And why has it got a pearl there? Because somehow I messed up and got a smudge. So there's always one way of making it work. All right, so that's our card today that we're going to make, and we're using the stitched nested labels dies. And we're going to use Beautiful Promenade and Floral Essence today, and the Perennial Flower Punch. Now the Perennial Flower Punch and Floral Essence come as a bundle, and it's well worth it. So it's on page 107 of the catalogue, but as a bundle it's $54.75, so you get the punch and the stamp set together, and it's a lovely flower punch, and I'll show you a couple of tricks with that today. So we're using those and the leaf punch. Now the leaf punch, believe it or not, fits this leaf here in the Floral Essence stamp set. So how good's that? So we've got an extra use for our leaf punch, and we're using the Perennial Essence Designer Series paper, which is sort of a bit like Monet watercolour paper. It's just lovely. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I do. I like it a lot. Sorry, just having some coffee. And we're also going to use the Perennial Essence 12 by 12 vellum cardstock. All right, and it comes in So Saffron, Petal Pink and Old Olive. All right, and we're using Blackberry Bliss and Whisper White. So the first thing I'll talk to you about is I've already done my big shot, and this one I wasn't happy with this bit, so I've made it a bit bigger. So I've used the same die for the sentiment, and the trick with the sentiment is to have it up the top so you can put the flower down the bottom. And I've stamped that out of the Floral Essence stamp set in Blackberry Bliss, but I wanted a bigger die behind, so I've cut a larger one out in Blackberry Bliss, and so I've used the largest of the dies in the stitch nested labels and the second largest of the stitch nested labels. So the second largest for my sentiment, the largest for the piece behind. So I just wanted to show you that before I moved on. And I'll just pop these away, otherwise I'm likely to lose some. Alright, so that's those, and then we're going to stamp our flower first. Now I'm trying it in So Saffron and hoping it's going to look all right. So I've already loaded up my flower. So I'm going to ink it up in So Saffron and press down and ink it up again and press down. All right, then I'm going to leave those for a couple of minutes just to dry. It seems to need extra time on this vellum cardstock to dry, so I'll just leave that. I'll put it to one side and we'll go back to it in a minute. All right, so while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to just adhere these two with liquid glue. Yep, don't you love it when you get little bits on the end of the glue? You don't need a lot, so just adhere that with liquid glue. Now this sentiment does come from the Floral Essence suite. Alright, so that's that piece done. and we'll go back to that in a minute. Now I've cut 2 pieces of the DSP. Metric is 10 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters. Imperial is 4 inches by 3 inches. Now you need to score it at 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch along the long side, so we'll just go ahead and do that. So 2.5 centimeters is there. And 2.5 centimeters is there. Alright, and then I have a piece of Whisper White card which measures 10 centimeters by 14.4, or in Imperial that's going to be 5.25 inches by 4 inches. So I'm just going to take that piece of card and adhere these 2 bits of DSP. Now when you adhere it, you don't want it to be right on the crease, just leave a little space. So, and you need to use fairly good adhesive, so that's why I'm using liquid glue, which I just love, as you know. So when I adhere it, so I'm just going to adhere it just to the left. Notice I haven't got any rings on this hand, they keep falling off. So adhere it just to the left so that when it closes over, it's nice and easy to do. So then we'll adhere the other piece. So what do you think of the Perennial Essence DSP? Yeah, the blog hop was great and lots of great ideas. Alright, so also adhering this one just to the right of the DSP so that it folds over nicely. Alright, now then comes the fun part. So we're going to fold this in to the center on that score line that you made before, and use your bone folder, and the same on the other side. So anyone sort of feel the same as I did when I first started, when I first looked at the Perennial Essence DSP? Not sure whether you liked it, or try not to let these overlap and make sure you've got a nice point. Alright, so we've done that bit and we're just going to put a bit of glue . We want the flaps to adhere properly, and the glue's gone from not wanting to come out, from coming out in a flood to not wanting to come out at all. So adhere those 2 bits down, give them a nice firm press with your bone folder, and then press down again. same on the other end. Yeah, I think it will too, Wendy. No, but I wasn't sure either, but it's growing on me and I think I can see lots of uses for it. Oh, and do you realise that you can buy the magnolia? Magnolia, it's Good Morning Magnolia, but what's the DSP called? DSP is Magnolia Lane Designer Series paper. You can buy it as it is, or you can buy it as a bundle, 20 sheets of a couple of the designs, and it's great because you'll be able to use it for scrapbooks and classes. You'll have all the same sheets. Alright, so that's that one done. I'll just glue that down. So you're only gluing it to itself, you're not gluing it to the cardstock because the flaps will stay down. Alright, so there those flaps done. Alright, I think I'll have the lighter one at the top, and on my previous card I stamped the sentiment at the top and a flower down the bottom, so we'll go ahead and stamp the flower. Let's see if these are dry yet. Almost. So I'll punch these out and then leave them to dry a bit longer. So isn't this great that this flower fits perfectly, and we'll be able to make it stand up a bit and give it some dimension in a minute. It's actually going to be the last thing we stick on to our card, and this is a card probably that you wouldn't give, wouldn't mail, that you would actually hand to somebody because of the flower. I mean, you could post that, but have I told you my tip about posting, mailing things that have embellishments and what have you on the front? I forget who told me this, gave me this tip, but what you do is, so pretend I don't have that pearl there, but you would turn your card inside out, pop it in the envelope, and then it goes through the mail sorting machine much easier and doesn't get caught up. Whereas if you sent that in the mail like that, it'd probably get caught in the mailing machine, which means it's taken out and it just takes longer to mail, and it could damage whatever you've got on the front. So that's a good tip, to just turn your card inside out, pop it in the envelope, and it's good to go. And you know what else I forgot to get out today? An envelope. Alright, so I'm going to come in with some Blackberry Bliss. Some of these open so easily. and others I have real difficulty with, especially on the days when my arthritis is playing up. So it's no good having arthritis in your hands, I've decided. Alright, so we're going to stamp just the smaller of the two flowers. And I need some saffron. See, that one's easy to open. And I need some old olive for the leaves. Alright, so we're using saffron, blackberry bliss and old olive. And I'm just going to sort of eyeball this a bit, so I want it hidden. So I'm going to stamp about there. Just clean it off because I don't like blackberry bliss staining my stamps. And then we've got saffron for the flower centre. And then there's this trick. Just get this post-it note tape, which I love, and I'm just going to pop it down there and come in with some old olive and some leaves. So got the leaves and flower was there, wasn't it? Yes. And I'm going to, because I don't want the whole stem, I'm going to stamp there and maybe again about there. And yes, the leaves overlap, but that doesn't really matter. And then you peel this off. And look, magic. Alright, so then I'm going to use a sentiment from Beautiful Promenade. And I'm going to put You're Stronger Than Most. Got a friend in mind that I'm going to send this to. He's battling cancer at the moment. I lost a dear friend a couple of weeks ago to an insidious disease, and yeah, it's always hard, isn't it? Lost a family member last week. I need a block, don't I? Right, this block's a bit big, but anyway. So, needs to go that way. Alright, and I'm going to put that up here. Lovely. I just need to spray a couple of blocks. And have a bit of coffee. So that's the front of our card done, except for this bit and the flower. So this bit goes on like that. Alright, so I'm going to add some dimensionals to here. Oh, sorry, and I've got my paper piercing tool because I haven't got my take your pick tool out. Alright, so I'm just going to put a dimensional here up the top and one next to it and one next to it. So you've got like a little diamond of dimensionals. And just remove those backs. Oh, that'll be right. Put it on the wrong end. Sorry, people. Put these on the wrong end. Bit how my day's going at the moment. Now, I will get my take pick tool out because it'll do a better job. And I've got it just in a wood mount case and it fits nicely, so I'm just going to take the stylus out, which we're going to use in a minute, and I'm going to put in the spatula end. So it's that easy, and then I'm just going to use that spatula to get this dimensional off that I put in the wrong place. Yep, there we go. I'd have to use the heat tool. Give it a zap. You too can stuff up a card. Alright, just wait while I give this a zap. There you are, there's another tip for today. Use your heat tool to loosen any wayward bits of adhesive. It's great if you want to take adhesive off. Oh, come on. Alright, so that one can go there, and it's still quite sticky. And let's see with this one. I have to get these off because I don't, if you have it sticking on both or down the bottom, the flap will just come open. And if you make, you could do this with a tall card. But it needs to be in portrait position because otherwise if you have it in landscape it will just come off, like it won't close down. So that's that done, and I just need adhesive remover that we used to sell, but we don't anymore, but I sell them. So if you want one, I've got them for $4, and they should go in should be just $2 for postage, so $6 will get you one if you want one. Alright, so now that I've fixed that up after stuffing it up beautifully, alright, so I'm going to put that on about there. It's about centre. Press down. Look at that, you can't even see them. Alright, so that's that bit done. I've just put my take pick tool thing in wood mount case in Blackberry Bliss ink. So I'm having a really good day here today. How's your day going? Leslie's a bit stressed, so I'm helping her get rid of her stress. And yep, I've just had a sentiment fall off a block, so everything's going well. Alright, so on to that. I'll just move these out of the way for a second. We're going to, and I'm going to take that out and turn it around. So I've got my pointy bit, my piercing tool, and then I've got a card base which is 14.9 by 21. Score it at 10.5 and fold it and burnish it. And we're going to stick this on the front just with liquid glue. And you need to stick it down well, so if you're not sure that snail is the best thing to adhere this with, because it's sort of a bit like an aperture and it needs to be adhered well, and liquid glue gives you wriggle time. So I might just move that down a touch. Right. So there we go, and I'm just going to burnish these bits now that we've got it on the front of the card. And then we're going to do the inside of the card. Now the inside of this card, just have to make sure I didn't have Blackberry Bliss ink on me. I've done, this is in Petal Pink by the way, I've just put a greeting and the flower. So I'll just go and get an envelope while we're at it. Okay, so I've cut a piece that is 10 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters for the inside of the card, and I'm going to use the large flower and Blackberry Bliss. How do I do that? How do I get ink all over my fingers when I'm inking up a stamp? Alright, so Blackberry Bliss down the bottom, and then on the envelope as well, just making sure I've got it up the right way. And I'll give that a bit of a spray. So anyone else doing some crafting today? Then I need my little mask again, and I'm just going to pop that about there. Some old olive and the leaves. So they're not going to show terribly well, but we'll put some leaves down here. Didn't work very well, did it? Never mind, and we might put some along here. Alright, so that's the envelope done. And we'll do the inside of the card. So I'll just put the mask along there, and because it's Blackberry Bliss, it's not really going to matter if oh yeah, I was talking about Blackberry Bliss and put my stamp in Blackberry Bliss. Alright, because it's Blackberry Bliss, it's not going to show up any old olive that you put down. So there's one lot, and we might put another lot over here. So there we go, that'll do. Alright, so that's the inside of the card thus far, and I'm going to use, I've got All Days Are Beautiful That Begin With You, You're Stronger Than Most, and I'm going to use out of Beautiful Promenade, I'm Here For You Friend. So that's this one, and get a block. Alright, you used to be able to have a straight edge on every stamp, but we don't anymore. Alright, so I've lined that up on my dirty grid paper, and now I'm going to ink up in Blackberry Bliss and just stamp in the middle. There we go. Now I do need to just clean off a stamp. Before Blackberry Bliss seeps into the photopolymer. Alright, so I don't need Blackberry Bliss anymore. No, it's not going to close. I'm going to end up with ink all over me. Don't you love that? Alright, and I'm using my wonderful Stampin' storage unit to put my ink pads in, and I'm slowly changing over to new ink pads. Alright, I still need the So Saffron centres for the envelope and the inside, and we're just going to stick this inside, and then we'll make our flower, and I'll show you a couple of tricks with the flower. And the flower does need to be adhered, I've found, with liquid glue. Glue dots don't seem to like the new DSP vellum, so my advice is to use liquid glue. So there's the inside of our card and the envelope, and then we just need to make our flower and stamp some leaves. Now I'm going to get my Simply Scored mat out, and on the side that you have stamped, you're going to take your pick tool, take the pointy end out, and swap that out for the stylus, which is here. So it all just fits nicely in a wood mount case. I'm going to come up with a cover for it soon. Alright, I'm using the small end, and what I'm going to do, no, I'll use the large end. What I'm going to do is just trace on the bits you can see that I've stamped, and it might be better with the small end. So the veins on the leaf or the petal, and you'll see that it comes up sort of a bit whiter. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but when you do it yourself, it'll come up so that it's a little bit whiter. And then I'll move over to the next one before I change the end around. So we're just tracing those stamped bits on the petals. Trace as many or as few as you like. Alright, and just be careful you don't go through the vellum. And then come in with the, because it's easy to poke a hole in. Come in with the fat end, and you're just going to go round and round and round in the middle, and see how it makes that pop up. Makes the petals pop up. So I'll do the same with this one. This one needs a little bit more Alright, and then just going to change ends ready for the leaves that we're going to do. Then you're just going to stick the two together, so just put a dot in the middle of one, a decent dot, and then pop it down so that, and if you're using liquid glue too, it gives you wiggle room so you can move the flower around. I'm having all sorts of trouble here today. Alright, I think that's about right. Right, you can see on the back how it's come out sort of white on those veins. I quite like that idea. Alright, then just put that to one side to dry, and then we just need some vellum, our normal vellum, and some leaves. So I'm just going to just need to check that I'm stamping it on the right way. So stamp some leaves down, and I'm stamping them in Old Olive. And I'm going to use the leaf punch to punch them out. And then you can do the same with the stylus, with the leaves. And just come in, and on the side that is inked, I just go up the middle and it gives you the veins sort of on your leaves, and it does give them a little bit of dimension, and that's all I need the Old Olive for. And I don't need the size saffron anymore, so just pop them away and get rid of my Stampin' piece mat so you can see what I'm doing. Then I'm just going to come in with my snips, and I'm going to take off about half the stem because I don't need all of that stem. And then some glue dots. Right, and I take my vellum leaf to the glue dot, just press down and lift up. Same on the other one. Now this vellum and the glue dots are fine. It just seems to be the Perennial Essence vellum that the glue dots don't like. But anyway, and we're going to stick those under here. So you just want them to pop out. And this will stick down when we stick it on our card. And about there. Alright, then I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the base of my flour, liquid glue, because that's what seems to stick best. And I'll bring my card in and we'll stick that on there like that. And then our last thing to add, so don't forget to like my page and share this video with your friends. And all these products that we've used today are available now in my online store. And oops, just dropped something on the floor. We're going to use these Perennial Essence Floral Centers, or little fuzzy bits, I call them. Nothing like using the correct terms, is there? Alright, and these are backed with adhesive, so you just take the backing off and add it to the centre. And there is our card for today. So we've used the Perennial Essence Floral Centers. We've used our Take Your Pick tool and our Stampin' Piece mat. And what else have we used? Beautiful Promenade and Floral Essence. The Leaf Punch. The Floral Essence, the Perennial Flower Punch. The Leaf Punch. And what else? Blackberry Bliss, Old Olive and So Saffron in today's card. So all these products are available in my online store. So thanks so much for watching today. I'm really glad that you could spend some time with me. Hello Lynn and Maria, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you all like that card. It's an easy card to make. It just looks a bit difficult, but with the stitch nested labels dies, which we also used, and the Perennial Essence DSP, you can make this beautiful card. So when you open it up, on the front it's like that, and on the inside it's got a sentiment and the flower, and the same on the envelope. And this was the one I made for the ESAD blog hop. And if you haven't been to the hop and then you need some inspiration, you can go to my blog and start there. There's 25 people in the hop, so you'll get 25 different ideas. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.
Everybody plays a part in doing what we love.